Hey you guys, a couple of days ago I shared with you how to make the ribbon that I put here on this card. And this is the final card that I ended up making. But last night I got to playing around and I took the same concept and made a Christmas tree. So today I'm going to share with you how I made this little Christmas tree card. So to get started, I've pulled out some of the crepe paper in this evergreen color. And I'm going to pull off about, I don't know, 2 or 3 foot of it. Probably about a yard. You know, it's okay if you overdo, you know, if you do more than you need. But I'm going to cut that off. Then I'm going to take and end by end, I'm going to make sure you keep it going in the same direction. You're just not twisted. Then I'm going to take this end to this end. Then I'm going to take this end to this end. And I'm going to keep doing this, keeping it as straight as possible. One more time. Then I'm going to take my scissors, making sure this is really straight now. It's very important that it be extremely straight. And I'm going to cut right in the middle. I'm going to cut this in half. Now by folding it and then cutting it in half like that, what I've managed to do is I now have an even cut of this, and it's, you know, it's cut straight. So I showed you guys how to do this. This is probably way too much of this, but basically, you know, I'm going to go through it one more time because I've had people who've said that dark color couldn't see, and I don't know that this is any better. But you're just basically going to pinch in the center. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop the video, and I'll come back when this is all done. So I'm just going to... Okay, so, and now I'm back, and I have pleated up my ribbon. So I started out with about a yard of this ribbon, and I'm going to show you that when you scrunch this up, it's probably about 1/3 of its size. So this is what I have now. And I've taken a card, I guess these are called A2 cards. It's 4 1/4 by 5 1/2. And this is, I've already taken my Sizzix, it's the 3-dot embossing folder, and I've already embossed this. So I'm now going to take, and I'm going to find the placement of where I want the base of my tree to be. And I'm going to start down here at the bottom of my tree. And I'm right-handed, so you can see I'm going to try and go this way. And I'm going to take and start my base off about right here, doing about 1/3 of the card. It looks like it's about 2.5 inches, eyeballing it. And I'm going to take my ruffle and lay it down on there, on that glue, just like that. Now I'm going to pull up my ruffles just a little bit because I don't want to glue down onto those ruffles. Then I'm going to take this and I'm going to come in just slightly to both sides of where I glued before, so it's cut in just a little bit smaller. And again, I'm going to scrunch up my ruffle where I glued in the center, and I'm going to come around this corner in an S fashion, and I'm going to glue this down. I'm going to pull this up, coming in just a little bit closer this time, I mean a little bit tighter. I'm going to come around the corner and again glue it down, pull this up. And what this is doing is it's actually making the leaves for our tree. Coming in a little bit smaller. And you're going to gradually get a little bit smaller as you round the corner. You know, coming in just a little bit smaller. You can really start to see the shape of the tree taking place here, or taking form here. just making sure I'm not gluing too much. Getting really small. Now, if you happen to have not done a big enough piece and you run out, you can always just pick up where you leave off. And this is going to start getting really tiny right here. And then you just want to pull your tail up to the point up here. Now come in here and I'm going to fluff up my tree just a little bit so that it's standing up tall and thick. And make sure you don't see any white spots in between them. And if you have any of these corners that didn't get glued down good, just go ahead and glue them down really good and tight. Like right in here, I might add a little bit of spotted glue right there. Pull that in just a little bit tighter. And so now you can see that we have a tree here in the center. Now you're going to see some of this glue from where you made your ruffle. So what I'll do is I just grab out my heat tool and just kind of make them melt a little bit into the paper. Now be careful when you do this because you don't want to scorch your paper because this crepe paper will burn. Maybe glue that down just a little bit right there on the edge. See, make sure all my edges are down. Look at how cute he is already. Now, in another video, I have shared with you guys how I made these little poinsettias. So, there is a video. I will put it down into the description so that you can reference that if you've never seen that video before. So I have a couple of different options here. I have a red one, and then I also have a white one. But I think I like the red because it's just going to pop up against that white. And then I have the smaller one. I think I'm going to go with this one. I really like how that looks. So I'm just going to kind of glue it down here at the top. So these are the little poinsettias that you know, I made last year. Now I've taken the Regal crust from Tim Holtz and I've cut the banner piece out. And I have my walnut stain here that I'm going to use to ink up the edges. And I'm just going to move my card out of the way so I don't get ink on it. And I'm just going to just really add some depth because see, this looks really flat right now. So when I add this depth to this, it's really going to have a little more dimension to it. Just this little bit. And the banner I cut from the Recollections paper, that is the gold paper. It's not quite as thick as cardstock, but it's a little thicker than standard paper. I don't know what the pound is on it because it doesn't say on the packaging, but I love this because it's a really nice gold that's not super shiny. And then it also has a craft cardstock on the back side, so it's really nice for using for cards or for embellishments, and it holds ink really well. So basically this is what I have. Okay, so it's already starting to get a little bit of shape to it. Now I'm going to take my bone folder, and in the crease I'm going to line up the edge of this line here with this line that starts the ribbon side right here. So that this is what I have. And I'm going to give this a little pinch around the corner. And then what this is going to do is it's going to give me a little crease for making this banner three-dimensional. And I'm going to go ahead and add a little ink to this crease. Then I'm going to pop it back out this way. And see how that already has given that a little bit of shape versus this side that's really flat. So to do that again, I'm going to line up this line with this line. And I'm going to just crease it. Put a little ink right there in the crease. Then I'm going to pull it back this way. And look at how cute that is. Love it. See how it's just kind of given a little depth to that regal crest, the banner. And you could also do this exact same thing if you have the tattered banners. I don't have those, so I use this one. And I believe that there are some of these banners on Cricut cartridges too. I've seen them before. So I'm going to pull my card back out, and my banner is going to get laid to the side of the tree. It's going to flank both sides of the tree. And I'm going to leave a little bit of that tree sticking out the bottom. But I think that's about where I want it, about like that. So I'm going to write Merry Christmas on here, and I have a little trick to show you how to do that too. I like my lettering to be exactly in the middle of my project. So I'm going to write out what I want it to say. I'm going to say Merry Christmas, and I'm not being super neat with this. And then I'm going to count the letters, including this gap here. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14, 15. So there's an odd number, and anytime there's an odd number, that makes it super easy to do. So the math on this would be half of 15 would really be like an 8 and a 7. So that means that the 7 plus 7 is 14, so the odd number would be the 8th letter or character. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, which is the letter H. So the letter H is my center point. So what I want to do is line up, I'm going to find my center point of my banner, and I'm just going to kind of eyeball it, because I think I'm going to handwrite this anyway, so it's not going to be an exact, the letter spacing isn't going to be exact, but if I eyeball it, I should get pretty close. So I'm just going to draw my H. And notice that this has a curve on it. I got glue all over my finger. So you want to kind of stay with that curve. Then I'm going to come over here and add my C. Remember my gap. I'm going to come over to this side. I'm going to go M. And there, my lettering is perfectly centered onto my banner. Now I'm going to come in here. I'm going to add a little bit, find my positioning. I think I want it to nest right in here on flank the sides of the tree, just like this. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to add a little spot of glue right here. And place this side down. And I'm going to add a little spot of glue to just to the tips of the ribbon. I don't want to put them on the center of the, that's hot. And I'm going to flank it right there, trying to keep it even with the other side. And there's my little banner. Now my tree's not complete yet, because to me it could be finished, and you could by all means come back with some white and maybe add a little snow to your tree. That would be super cool. And you could also decorate your tree. So I have some scraps sitting here on my desk, and this would be really super cool to come in here with some of these scraps and just make garland for your tree, depending on how elaborate you want to get. But these are just little simple Christmas cards, so I'm going to keep it simple. And what I have is my quick stick, And if you haven't seen these before, this one's made by Quick Cuts, but I know that Silhouette has one too that Hobby Lobby carries. I got this one from a local scrapbook store, but it has like a little gum end on one end, and it has a little poking tool on another end, and then a burnishing tool on this side. So what I'm going to do, try and do this one-handed. I'm going to get my glue gun where I can get to it. You don't want to use anything wet on this crepe paper, because when the crepe paper gets wet, like you don't want to spray Lindy's on here or do any of that, because if this crepe paper gets wet, it's going to bleed and it's going to be all over your card, and that might not be the look you're after. So I'm going to take and put a little tiny spot of hot glue on the tip of this, and I'm going to kind of glue it down, and then I'm going to use my little poker tool to hold it in place. Now I'm going to fast forward while I do these so that you don't have to watch me do every single bit of this. There's our card. I hope you've enjoyed it, and I hope that I see you guys making these. They're super easy to do, fun, great little Christmas cards. I mean, in just a few minutes I've gotten a collection of them going here. On this one I actually used some scrap paper, colored it red, and then made this tree a little darker, and then I added some stickles to this tree and let it dry overnight, and then just wrote Silent Night on the banner instead of Merry Christmas. So anyway, thank you guys for watching. I hope you've enjoyed it. These make cute little card sets, and I will talk to you guys later. Thanks.